Someone is watching you every day in your room at 4 a.m. in the morning and trying to mark in your head due to my beloved child at exactly 4 a.m., when the world is quiet and even time feels like it is holding its breath, something subtle begins around you. This is not about fear, and this is not about danger. Listen carefully and don't skip. There is a reason your room feels different at that hour, as if the air itself is paying attention. Someone is watching you every day, not with eyes of harm, but with a purpose that has been forming for a long time. Stay till the end of this journey, because something huge is waiting for you, and the truth behind this moment is far bigger than you imagine. At 4 a.m., your mind is open, unguarded, and unusually powerful. That is why this hour was chosen. Something is trying to leave a mark in your head, not to control you, but to awaken something you have ignored for too long. In this quiet hour, when distractions fall asleep before you do, your thoughts become clear enough to receive signals you normally miss. Don't skip this part. The watching is not physical, it is awareness itself noticing you. Every day, at the same time, patterns are being placed gently into your thinking, ideas, realizations, sudden memories, and questions that seem to come from nowhere. This is why you sometimes wake up with a strange feeling, as if a message was delivered but not fully remembered. Stay till the end, because this is not coincidence. You were not chosen randomly. The reason is connected to what you are becoming, not what you were. Something huge is waiting for you on the other side of this awareness, and the moment you understand it, nothing inside you stays the same. Now listen closely, because this is where most people lose the meaning by scrolling away. Don't skip. The mark being formed in your head is clarity, clarity that cannot arrive during noise, daylight, or chaos. At 4 a.m., your inner defenses rest, and truth can finally speak. This is why the same hour returns again and again. Someone is watching because something within you is ready, even if you doubt it. Stay till the end of what is unfolding in your life, because this quiet attention is shaping a future decision, a sudden shift, a moment that will surprise you. Something huge is waiting for you, and this is only the beginning. Listen carefully now, because this layer is deeper than the first. At 4 a.m., the watching continues not because you are weak, but because you are receptive in a way you never are during the day. This is the hour when your conscious mind loosens its grip, and your inner self steps forward. That is why thoughts feel heavier, emotions feel sharper, and certain memories suddenly rise without invitation. Don't skip what your own experience has already tried to show you. The reason someone is watching every day is tied to how your mind records meaning during this exact window. What is being marked is not an image or a voice, but a direction, slowly aligning your thinking towards something unavoidable that is approaching your life. Here is the truth most people never hear: the mind at 4 a.m. is like soft clay. Whatever touches it leaves an impression that lasts longer than anything formed in daylight. This is why certain realizations arrive at that time and refuse to leave you afterward. Stay till the end of this understanding, because this is not random mental activity. The watching presence is drawn to consistency, and you have been consistent without realizing it. Waking, stirring, sensing, or simply feeling aware at the same hour every day sends a signal back. Something huge is waiting for you because your mind has been preparing for a shift that cannot happen loudly. It has to happen quietly, before logic interferes. Now pause for a moment and notice something important. The mark being formed in your head is not about fear, control, or confusion. It is about recognition. At 4 a.m., you are seen as you truly are, without roles, masks, or expectations. That is why this hour keeps returning. Don't skip this realization. Once the mark is complete, certain choices in your life will suddenly feel obvious, even urgent. You will know what to accept, what to walk away from, and what can no longer wait. Stay till the end of this unfolding, because something huge is waiting for you, and the watching is not ending, it is guiding you toward the moment you finally see yourself clearly. There is something you must understand now, and this is where everything becomes intense. At 4 a.m., the watching is no longer passive. It becomes responsive. Your thoughts, even the ones you never speak, are being mirrored back to you through sudden feelings, inner pressure, and an unexplainable sense that time is moving faster than it should. Don't skip this part. The reason this happens daily is because repetition strengthens imprinting. Each morning, the same hour, the same silence, the same mental doorway opens. Something huge is waiting for you beyond that doorway, and it cannot reach you unless you are fully aware of what is happening inside your own mind. You may have noticed that after these moments, your day feels different. Your tolerance changes. Your patience shifts. Certain people feel heavier, and certain paths feel wrong without explanation. This is not coincidence. Stay till the end of this understanding. The mark being formed is discernment. The ability to sense what aligns with you and what does not. At 4 a.m., the watching presence sharpens this ability by placing subtle contrasts in your thinking. This is why confusion slowly gives way to quiet certainty. Don't skip this truth. Once discernment is fully formed, you cannot unsee what you see, and your life begins to reorganize itself around that awareness. Now listen closely, because this part is rarely spoken aloud. The watching is not about what you are doing. It is about what you are becoming. At 4 a.m., your future self is closer than your past, and that closeness leaves pressure in your chest and urgency in your thoughts. Something huge is waiting for you because a moment of alignment is approaching, one decision, one realization, one step that will quietly change everything. Stay till the end of this season in your life. The watching will stop only when the mark is complete, and when it is, you will move forward with a clarity that cannot be taken from you. Now the meaning begins to crystallize, and this is where you must stay attentive. At 4 a.m., the watching reaches a phase of confirmation. This is the hour when your mind is tested for readiness, not through noise, but through stillness. You may feel a sudden urge to rethink your life, question your routines, or sense that something familiar no longer fits. Don't skip this moment. The reason this hour keeps returning is because your inner world is being aligned with a truth you can no longer avoid. Something huge is waiting for you, and it requires you to notice what feels out of place before what truly belongs can enter. Here is what changes next, and many people miss it by looking away too soon. The mark being formed in your head is not dramatic, it is precise. It sharpens your intuition, tightens your focus, and quietly disconnects you from distractions that once felt important. Stay till the end of this understanding. At 4 a.m., clarity is layered gently, day after day, until confusion has no room left to hide. This is why certain conversations feel unnecessary now, why silence feels more powerful than words, and why your instincts feel stronger than logic. Don't skip this truth. Once this mark settles, your decisions will feel calm, final, and unshakable. Now listen carefully, because this is the turning point. The watching does not last forever. It continues only until recognition becomes action. At 4 a.m., you are being prepared to step into something that will demand confidence, honesty, and courage without noise. Something huge is waiting for you, not as a surprise, but as a confirmation of what you already sensed was coming. Stay till the end of this phase in your life. When the watching fades, you will realize it was never about being observed. It was about being prepared for the moment you finally move forward without hesitation. Now everything begins to narrow, and this is where focus becomes unavoidable. At 4 a.m., the watching shifts from shaping to urging. You may feel a quiet pressure to act, to change something small but meaningful, even if you cannot yet explain why. Don't skip this feeling. It is not anxiety, it is alignment asking for movement. The reason this hour still matters is because your mind is being guided toward a single direction, cutting away hesitation layer by layer. Something huge is waiting for you, and it requires motion, not overthinking. You might notice that excuses no longer satisfy you the way they used to. Certain delays feel heavier, and unfinished choices start to demand attention. Stay till the end of this understanding. The mark in your head has reached a point where awareness turns into responsibility. At 4 a.m., the watching presence reflects your potential back to you so clearly that ignoring it becomes uncomfortable. This is why rest feels different, why distractions feel hollow, and why your inner voice sounds firmer than before. Don't skip this truth. Once responsibility is felt, your life cannot return to autopilot. This is the quiet moment before momentum. At 4 a.m., you are no longer being prepared, you are being positioned. Something huge is waiting for you on the other side of a choice you already know you must make. Stay till the end of this transition, because the watching will soon transform into forward movement. When that happens, clarity will no longer whisper. It will walk with you, steady and undeniable, into what comes next. Something subtle but powerful is happening now, and this is where most people fail to stay aware. At 4 a.m., the watching no longer feels distant, it feels personal. You may sense a quiet urgency, as if time itself is leaning closer to you. This is not pressure from the outside, it is recognition from within. The reason this hour still returns is because your mind is now strong enough to hold what is being revealed. Stay till the end of this moment, because something huge is waiting for you, and it is connected to a truth you can no longer pretend not to see. The silence at this hour is not empty. It is charged with direction. You might notice that your tolerance for uncertainty is fading. Things that once felt acceptable now feel unfinished or misaligned. This is not restlessness, it is readiness. At 4 a.m., the mark in your head sharpens into resolve. Your thoughts become fewer but heavier, more precise. Don't skip this realization. Clarity does not arrive loudly, it arrives when confusion finally runs out of excuses. The watching presence responds to your willingness to see honestly, and that honesty begins to reorganize your priorities without force. Something huge is waiting for you because you are nearing the point where hesitation and awareness can no longer coexist. Now understand this carefully, because this is the threshold. At 4 a.m., you are standing between preparation and execution. The watching continues only to steady you, not to guide you anymore. You already know what needs to change, what needs to be claimed, and what must be released. Stay till the end of this phase, because once movement begins, there is no return to the version of you who waited. Something huge is waiting for you, not in the future, but in the decision that is forming right now. The silence you feel is not emptiness, it is the calm before alignment turns into action. Now the atmosphere around 4 a.m. changes again, and this is where awareness becomes undeniable. The watching is no longer something you sense in the background, it feels close, deliberate, almost intimate. You may notice your thoughts slow down, as if something is asking you to listen instead of think. Don't skip this awareness. This hour is no longer shaping you, it is confirming you. Something huge is waiting for you because the alignment inside your mind is nearly complete. The reason this happens daily is simple: consistency proves readiness. Your presence at this hour, whether awake or half asleep, signals that you are prepared to hold what comes next without fear. At this stage, the mark in your head feels less like pressure and more like certainty. You begin to trust your instincts without needing validation. Small signs during the day start connecting effortlessly, and answers arrive before questions fully form. Stay till the end of this realization. At 4 a.m. The watching reflects your inner authority back to you, strengthening it quietly. This is why doubt no longer lingers the way it used to, and why external opinions feel distant. Don't skip this truth: when certainty settles, confusion loses its voice. Something huge is waiting for you because your mind is finally steady enough to move forward without being pulled apart by second thoughts. Now understand this carefully, because this is the final stage before momentum. The watching at 4 a.m. is preparing to withdraw, not because its work failed, but because it succeeded. You are no longer being guided, you are being trusted. Stay till the end of this phase, because once this hour releases you, life will begin responding faster than before. Decisions will align, paths will open, and resistance will fade without struggle. Something huge is waiting for you, and when it arrives, it will feel familiar. Because it was shaped in silence, day after day, at the hour you were brave enough to stay aware. Now the silence at 4 a.m. carries a different weight, and this is where everything becomes calm but powerful. The watching has softened, almost as if it is stepping back to see what you will do next. You may feel less tension and more clarity, less questioning and more knowing. Don't skip this moment. This is the pause before movement, the stillness where intention settles into your bones. Something huge is waiting for you because you are no longer being prepared, you are being released. The reason this hour still touches you is to remind you of the clarity you earned, not to add anything new. You might notice that your reactions during the day are changing. You respond instead of react. You choose silence where noise once ruled. At 4 a.m., the mark in your head stabilizes into confidence that does not need explanation. Stay till the end of this realization. This is not excitement, it is grounded certainty. Don't skip this truth: when certainty is grounded, nothing outside of you can shake it. The watching presence fades because it recognizes that you can now carry this awareness on your own. Something huge is waiting for you because your inner alignment is strong enough to support it. Now hear this clearly, because this is the message many people miss. The hour of 4 a.m. will soon stop feeling significant, and that is how you know the process is complete. Stay till the end of this understanding. The watching was never meant to follow you forever, it was meant to awaken you. Something huge is waiting for you in the daylight, in choices made without fear, in steps taken without hesitation. When the silence no longer pulls at you, you will realize you no longer need it. You have become what that hour was shaping you to be. Now the final shift begins, and this is where everything quietly locks into place. The memory of 4 a.m. no longer feels mysterious, it feels resolved. You may not wake at that hour as often, and if you do, there is no tension, only awareness. Don't skip this understanding. This change is the sign that the watching has completed its work. Something huge is waiting for you because the preparation phase has ended, and integration has begun. What was once shaped in silence is now ready to be lived openly, without effort or fear. During the day, you may notice an unusual steadiness in your choices. You no longer rush, yet you no longer delay. At 4 a.m., the mark in your head has fully settled, and it now expresses itself through action instead of thought. Stay till the end of this realization. This is how you know the process was real. Your life begins to move differently without forcing it. Don't skip this truth. Clarity that is genuine feels calm, not dramatic. Something huge is waiting for you because your actions are now aligned with your awareness, and resistance naturally dissolves. Now listen carefully, because this is the quiet conclusion. The watching does not end with a signal or a sign, it ends with confidence. Stay till the end of this phase in your life. The hour that once held your attention has done its work, and you carry its imprint wherever you go. Something huge is waiting for you, not as a surprise, but as a confirmation of who you have become. What begins next will feel natural, steady, and unmistakably yours. Now what unfolds is not dramatic, but it is decisive. The influence of 4 a.m. no longer pulls you inward, it pushes you gently outward into the world. You may feel a quiet readiness, as if you have already agreed to something important without needing to say it out loud. Don't skip this feeling. This is the after effect of being watched with purpose. Something huge is waiting for you because your inner alignment is now strong enough to carry responsibility without fear or confusion. You will notice that opportunities no longer feel accidental. Certain moments arrive at the exact time you are ready for them, and hesitation does not interfere the way it once did. At 4 a.m., the mark in your head has matured into trust in your judgment, your timing, and your direction. Stay till the end of this realization. Don't skip this truth. When trust replaces doubt, life responds faster. You stop asking for signs because your clarity has become the sign. Something huge is waiting for you because your decisions are now rooted in awareness rather than urgency. Now understand this final layer. The watching you sensed was never separate from you, it was the part of you that could see beyond the present moment. Stay till the end of this understanding. The hour of 4 a.m. was a doorway, not a destination. You pass through it quietly, consistently, and consciously. Something huge is waiting for you on the other side of that doorway, and as you step forward now, you will realize nothing was following you, everything was preparing you. Now you begin to feel the weight of choice, and this is where maturity replaces anticipation. The influence of 4 a.m. settles into your daily rhythm, guiding you without announcing itself. You may notice that certain paths feel closed, not by force, but by clarity. Don't skip this awareness. This is not loss, it is refinement. Something huge is waiting for you because your attention is no longer scattered. The watching shaped your focus so precisely that distractions simply fall away. What remains feels essential, almost inevitable, as if it has been waiting for you to arrive fully present. As this settles, your inner voice grows quieter but stronger. It no longer argues, it directs. At 4 a.m., the mark in your head has transformed into self-trust that does not seek approval. Stay till the end of this realization. Don't skip this truth. When you trust yourself, decisions stop draining your energy. You move with a calm authority that surprises even you. People may sense this shift without understanding it, and situations begin to resolve themselves faster around you. Something huge is waiting for you because your clarity now carries momentum, and momentum attracts alignment. Now listen closely, because this is the essence of what remains. The watching was never about surveillance, it was about stewardship of your potential. Stay till the end of this phase in your life. You have crossed from being shaped into being responsible for what you do with that shape. Something huge is waiting for you, not because you are chosen above others, but because you chose awareness when silence asked for it. From here, every step you take will feel intentional, grounded, and unmistakably aligned with who you have become. Now everything becomes internal, and this is where true ownership begins. The influence of 4 a.m. no longer feels like guidance from outside, it feels like a steady center inside you. You may notice that you no longer seek reassurance the way you once did. Don't skip this shift. This is the moment when awareness becomes identity. Something huge is waiting for you because you are no longer reacting to life, you are meeting it on equal ground. The silence that once taught you is now part of how you think, decide, and move. As this settles deeper, your patience changes. You are no longer rushed by urgency or delayed by doubt. At 4 a.m., the mark in your head has fully integrated into your perception. Stay till the end of this realization. Don't skip this truth. When integration is complete, effort decreases and effectiveness increases. You begin to sense outcomes before they unfold, and your choices carry less struggle and more precision. This is why things begin to feel simpler, even when they are important. Something huge is waiting for you because simplicity is the final form of clarity. Now understand this carefully, because this is the quiet power most people never reach. The watching you sensed was the training ground for discernment, not dependency. Stay till the end of this understanding. You no longer need the hour to awaken you, because you are awake in every hour now. Something huge is waiting for you beyond preparation, beyond awareness, beyond waiting. It waits in action that feels natural, in confidence that feels calm, and in a life that finally reflects the clarity you earned when no one else was watching. Now the echo of that hour begins to speak through your actions, not your thoughts. You may notice that you are no longer impressed by noise, promises, or urgency. Things either feel right or they don't, and that knowing arrives instantly. Don't skip this awareness. This is the proof that the mark formed at 4 a.m. has matured into instinct. Something huge is waiting for you because your inner compass is finally calibrated. You no longer need to analyze every step. You sense alignment before logic enters the room, and that changes how you move through everything. As days pass, you may feel a strange calm during moments that once caused hesitation. This is not detachment, it is presence. At 4 a.m., the final layers of doubt were dissolved, leaving behind a steady perception that doesn't rush or retreat. Stay till the end of this realization. When clarity reaches this depth, life responds with precision. Conversations become shorter but more meaningful. Decisions feel lighter because they are rooted in truth, not pressure. Something huge is waiting for you because your energy is no longer divided, and divided energy was the only thing slowing you down. Now understand this final refinement. The watching never asked you to become someone else. It asked you to stop fragmenting who you already were. Don't skip this truth. The mark in your head was not an addition, it was a removal of distortion. Stay till the end of this phase, because what comes next will feel effortless compared to what you survived before. Something huge is waiting for you in the space you created by choosing awareness over avoidance. From here, every step feels intentional, every pause feels earned, and your life begins to reflect the quiet strength that was formed when the world was asleep and you chose to listen. Now the outcome becomes visible, even if no one else can name it yet. You may feel a steady confidence that does not need proof, as if something inside you has already decided. Don't skip this awareness. This is where the imprint of 4 a.m. turns into presence. You walk differently through situations, not faster or louder, but grounded. Something huge is waiting for you because your inner alignment is now reflected in how others respond to you. Resistance fades, misunderstandings reduce, and clarity follows you without effort. You may notice that certain doors open without struggle, while others quietly close without regret. This is not luck, it is precision. At 4 a.m., the mark in your head refined your perception so thoroughly that your timing improved without conscious planning. Stay till the end of this realization. Don't skip this truth. When timing aligns, effort becomes efficient. You stop chasing outcomes and start meeting them. Something huge is waiting for you because you are finally moving in rhythm with yourself, and that rhythm attracts exactly what belongs. Now hold this final insight carefully. The watching phase ended so quietly that you may not even remember when it stopped. Stay till the end of this understanding. The silence did not leave you, it settled into you. Something huge is waiting for you ahead, not as a test, but as confirmation. When it arrives, you will recognize it instantly, not with surprise, but with calm certainty. And in that moment, you will know the nights of awareness were never about being seen, they were about becoming ready to be seen clearly, without fear. Now you move with an ease that surprises even you. There is no urgency in your steps, yet nothing feels delayed. Don't skip this awareness. This is the quiet authority that forms after deep alignment. The influence of 4 a.m. now shows itself in how little you need to explain yourself. You feel complete in your decisions before anyone else reacts. Something huge is waiting for you because you are no longer proving, convincing, or preparing, you are simply acting from truth. This is the moment when your presence begins to speak louder than intention ever did. You may notice that challenges no longer shake your center. They arrive, they are addressed, and they pass without leaving residue. This is not because life became easier, but because you became clearer. At 4 a.m., the mark in your head eliminated unnecessary internal conflict. Stay till the end of this realization. Don't skip this truth. When inner conflict ends, outer chaos loses power. You conserve energy, move precisely, and respond instead of react. Something huge is waiting for you because clarity creates momentum, and momentum attracts outcomes without force. Now understand this final deepening. You are no longer waiting for signs because you have become one. Stay till the end of this phase in your life. The silence that shaped you has turned into confidence that carries no noise. Something huge is waiting for you in the path you are already walking, not ahead of you, not behind you. When it fully reveals itself, it will feel natural, inevitable, and earned. And you will realize that everything that happened at 4 a.m. was not preparing you for the world, it was preparing the world for the version of you that now stands ready, steady, and fully aligned. Now the shift completes itself in a way that feels almost ordinary, and that is how you know it is real. There is no dramatic announcement, no sudden rush, only a quiet sense that you are exactly where you need to be. Don't skip this awareness. This is the final echo of what 4 a.m. taught you, stability before expansion. Something huge is waiting for you because you no longer chase certainty. You carry it. The watching that once felt external has fully dissolved into self-trust that does not waver. You may notice that your energy is protected now. You no longer give it away to things that drain you, and you no longer hesitate to step toward what strengthens you. At 4 a.m., the mark in your head refined your boundaries without hardening your heart. Stay till the end of this realization. Don't skip this truth. Healthy boundaries are the foundation of sustainable growth. This is why progress feels steady instead of exhausting. Something huge is waiting for you because your clarity now has endurance, not just intensity. Now listen carefully, because this is the quiet conclusion of the journey. The hour that once held meaning no longer needs to call you back. Stay till the end of this understanding. You are no longer being shaped, you are shaping outcomes. Something huge is waiting for you not as a reward, but as a response to who you have become. When it arrives, it will not interrupt your life, it will integrate into it seamlessly. And in that moment, you will understand that what began in silence has matured into a life lived with calm direction, unwavering presence, and unshakable clarity. Now what follows is continuity, not climax, and this is where real transformation shows itself. You wake up, move through your day, and realize nothing feels forced anymore. Don't skip this awareness. The imprint of 4 a.m. has become your default setting. You no longer question every impulse or second-guess every instinct. There is a quiet agreement between your mind and your actions. Something huge is waiting for you because consistency has replaced intensity. What once required effort now happens naturally, and that is the clearest sign that the process worked. You may notice that people respond to you differently without knowing why. Conversations feel more direct. Respect arrives without demand. At 4 a.m., the mark in your head refined not just how you see yourself, but how you occupy space. Stay till the end of this realization. Don't skip this truth. When internal alignment is complete, external validation becomes irrelevant. You no longer need recognition to move forward, and paradoxically, that is when recognition appears. Something huge is waiting for you because your presence now carries coherence, and coherence quietly attracts opportunity. Now understand this final stabilization. There is nothing left to wait for, and nothing left to prove. Stay till the end of this phase in your life. The watching ended because awareness became embodied. Something huge is waiting for you not in anticipation, but in execution, in the steady choices you make without drama, in the calm confidence you carry without explanation. From here onward, your life does not hinge on moments of awakening. It unfolds through sustained clarity. And that is the power that was formed when the world was silent, the hour was early, and you stayed aware long enough to become unwavering. Now the rhythm of your life feels settled, and this is where strength becomes quiet and reliable. You no longer feel pulled backward by old doubts or pushed forward by pressure. Don't skip this awareness. This steadiness is not boredom, it is mastery. The imprint of 4 a.m. has become a foundation you stand on without thinking about it. Something huge is waiting for you because stability creates space, and space allows the right things to arrive without resistance. You are no longer bracing yourself, you are available. You may notice that your reactions have slowed, but your understanding has deepened. Situations reveal themselves quickly, and you sense outcomes before they fully unfold. At 4 a.m., the mark in your head trained you to read between moments, not just respond to them. Stay till the end of this realization. Don't skip this truth. When perception sharpens, effort decreases. You conserve energy, choose wisely, and move only when movement matters. Something huge is waiting for you because your clarity now works silently in your favor, aligning timing, people, and opportunities with minimal friction. Now understand this closing layer carefully. Nothing dramatic announces what comes next, and that is exactly why it works. Stay till the end of this understanding. The watching never promised spectacle, it promised readiness. Something huge is waiting for you within the life you are already living, not outside of it. As it unfolds, it will feel natural, almost obvious, as if it was always meant to arrive this way. And in that calm recognition, you will know the process is complete, not because something ended, but because you became steady enough to continue without being guided. Now what remains is forward motion without friction, and this is where intention turns into result. You move through decisions with a quiet confidence that doesn't announce itself. Don't skip this awareness. The imprint of 4 a.m. has simplified your choices by removing what never belonged. Something huge is waiting for you because simplicity accelerates outcomes. You are no longer negotiating with doubt or rehearsing courage, you act, and action responds back with clarity. This is how momentum feels when it is earned, not forced. You may notice that timing feels precise. Opportunities arrive when you are ready, not when you are desperate. Conversations land where they should. Paths open without explanation. At 4 a.m., the mark in your head refined your sense of readiness so completely that impatience lost its grip. Stay till the end of this realization. When readiness is real, life meets it halfway. You stop pushing and start positioning. Something huge is waiting for you because alignment now does the heavy lifting, and your energy is spent only where it matters. Now hold this final understanding with care. What unfolds next will not require you to become louder, faster, or different. Stay till the end of this phase. The watching prepared you to recognize what fits the moment it appears. Something huge is waiting for you, and when it steps into your path, you won't question it. You'll move with calm certainty, knowing the quiet hours did their work. This is not an ending, it is continuity with purpose, steady, grounded, and unmistakably aligned with who you have become. Now you stand inside the flow you once sensed from a distance. Nothing feels rushed, yet nothing feels stuck. Don't skip this awareness. This is the moment when effort and outcome finally balance. The imprint of 4 a.m. has tuned you to move at the exact pace life responds to. Something huge is waiting for you because you are no longer ahead of your timing or behind it. You are synchronized. What once felt like preparation now feels like participation, and that shift changes how everything unfolds around you. You may notice that confidence now shows itself as calm follow-through. You finish what you start. You say less and mean more. At 4 a.m., the mark in your head trained you to value precision over intensity. Stay till the end of this realization. Don't skip this truth: when precision guides action, results compound quietly. Small steps create large movement. Your focus stays intact because it is no longer threatened by distraction. Something huge is waiting for you because consistency has become natural, and natural consistency builds outcomes that last. Now receive this final integration. There is nothing left to unlock, only to live. Stay till the end of this phase of understanding. The watching ended because readiness became reality. Something huge is waiting for you in the ordinary moments where you now show up fully present. As it reveals itself, it won't feel sudden or overwhelming. It will feel right. And in that quiet rightness, you will know the journey that began in silence has settled into a life that moves forward with clarity, stability, and purpose, without needing to look back. Now everything completes itself in stillness, and this is where meaning becomes lived truth. You are no longer aware of the process that shaped you, you are aware of how naturally you now move through life. Don't skip this awareness. The imprint of 4 a.m. has dissolved into wisdom that operates without effort. Something huge is waiting for you not as a surprise, but as a confirmation of balance. You are no longer preparing, proving, or becoming. You are simply being, and that is where real power rests. You may notice that peace no longer depends on outcomes. Success, change, and uncertainty can exist without disturbing your center. At 4 a.m., the mark in your head taught you how to remain steady when everything else shifts. Stay till the end of this realization. Don't skip this truth: when steadiness is internal, life stops feeling threatening. It becomes a space you navigate with awareness instead of resistance. Something huge is waiting for you because your clarity now sustains itself, independent of circumstance. Now receive this final closure quietly. There is no grand ending, only continuity with depth. Stay till the end of this understanding. The watching that once surrounded you has become the awareness within you. Something huge is waiting for you in the life you are already living, unfolding in perfect timing. And as you step forward from here, you will realize the greatest transformation was never what came next, but who you became while the world was silent and you chose to stay aware.